Five little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Hello, good morning, VIP Kid family. Teacher Madeline here. Today I'm going to share with you 3 things that I have learned that have been really helpful for me in my classroom, and hopefully they help you out too. Number 1, I encourage my students to ask questions. This goes beyond me saying, do you have a question? As you know, in Asian culture and due to the Chinese education system, most of these children are never, they're not going to admit if they don't understand something. Of course, they'll say, yes, okay, next, let's move on. So yeah, I really encourage them to ask questions by maybe I ask a question first about the text, like, why was Tommy sad? And then, so that kind of gives an example, and then I say, hey, you ask a question, you ask me a question. And at first they may be a little bit confused, but I found with my regulars, the more and more I do this, the more they kind of get into a habit of it and they know what's coming. So this is awesome because not only is it building conversational skills, but it's getting them to think outside of the box and become more familiar with those question style sentence structures. Number 2, the second thing I've learned is more like learn not to do. I have learned it's best not to correct my students immediately because it kind of breaks up the flow of the class, especially if they're reading one of those longer stories. It can be really hard to get all that information. You know, you're reading in another language, and then if you have the teacher on top of that going, no, say it like this, then that, you know, I can't imagine how frustrating that is. We all know how it feels to be interrupted repetitively. So what I do is when the child makes some pronunciation error, I'll write that down and take note as they're speaking. I will type it in the chat box on the side a little later on, but not as they're speaking. And then at the end, when there's a natural pause or break in the class after they finish reading, first reward them. First, I say, good job, great, thank you for reading. Because, man, they must be excited they just made it through reading that. Some of those have a lot of text. So first, awesome. And then I say, hey, you did really great. This one small thing, almost really close. And then I go on to explain and help correct those pronunciations. So you will notice there is a tag. I'm sure you guys are familiar with one of the tags is timely pronunciation correction, and I get that a lot. So despite the fact that I'm not doing it like right immediately, I think as long as you do it in a way that makes sense and you know you're not correcting the child on some mistake they made 3 slides back, then it's fine. At least my personal opinion and experience, this is what has worked for me. So do not correct immediately. Okay, that brings us to the last thing I've learned. Number 3 is to ask for opinions about the readings. So beyond, do you like blue? Do you eat pizza? I say, hey, did you like that? Did you like that story? Yes or no? Is it boring? Is it exciting? Interesting? What kind of story? If you didn't like it, why? If you were the author, what would you change about the story? And that, again, builds conversational skills, promotes creativity, and it's a great way to build a relationship with the student and get to know each other a little bit. I found that, especially with, some of my younger students are like, really thrown off. They're trying to be defiant, some of them, and they say, no, that story was boring. And then when I say, yeah, I don't like it either, they're like, what? You don't like the textbook? I mean, it really just throws them for a loop. So, yep, those are my 3 things that I have learned. I hope they help you. Number 1, encourage the child to ask questions. Number 2, do not correct the student immediately. And number 3, ask for their opinions on the stories or longer readings. That is everything, y'all. I hope this was helpful for you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that like button. Please leave a comment. What do you guys think about this? Do you have anything that you have learned? And if you like these chattier style videos, then make sure to subscribe. That's all, folks. Have a wonderful VIP kid kind of day. Mama called the doctor, and the doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed."